mashallah. Right now we are waiting for Sister Catherine Jones, mashallah. She is an awesome personality. She is basically a certified coach. She is a certified business coach. She is a certified facilitator. She has her presence where she does free weekly master classes. She is basically an emotional and spiritual resilience coach and author of Step Up, mashallah tabarakallah. If you go to her website, Catherine Jones, you will see, mashallah tabarakallah, in true form the amount of work this beautiful human being has been putting out there in the world, the people that she has helped. She has helped communities. She has a different form for teens and the different format for school communities, for building school communities, building the resilience in children. And all of it goes back to helping children from a very young age become emotionally resilient, right? So I'm just waiting for her to come up, inshallah, and we'll start talking with her. Alaikum assalam. How's the dictionary? Where's everybody? Hi, palms, petals. Where's everybody joining in from? Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you for joining in. I'm just waiting for our guest, inshallah, to join in. Bismillah. How's the dictionary? The Moonlight Conversations is tomorrow, inshallah, on YouTube. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Coach. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, mashallah, tabarakallah. I'm well. So lovely to see you live for the first time. Alhamdulillah, have been following you for some years now, mashallah. This is a fan moment, people. You will not realize it, but yes.
So what have you learned from me over these years then?
I've learned to be emotionally resilient. I've learned to be positive. I've learned to be patient. I've learned to have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've learned to drop away the mindset problems that we inculcate within ourselves. I've learned from you to overcome your own limiting beliefs. SubhanAllah, I've learned a lot.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. That's kind of awesome.
You are awesome. And okay, I have to give a shout out to Sister Raisa. Really, Sagiwala. She is the one who said, how come you've not approached Sister Catherine? I was like, yes, how come I did not? You know what? In my mind, you know when you really follow somebody, and so in my mind you were like celebrity. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Say yes.
I'm celebrity. I'm just very human.
Alhamdulillah. I really appreciate you coming. I before you just came in, I was telling people, like, mashallah, you have developed so much work and you have put it out there for everybody from every genre, like young people, children, women, men, teachers, students, teens, everybody. There's something to take away from the work that, mashallah tabarakallah, you have done. So I was wondering, what am I going to ask you? What am I going to say? Like, okay, Sister Catherine, like, teach us something. But
that's kind of on the spot, isn't it? You know,
yeah, I know.
Teach us anything random, right?
I will start with this. Mashallah tabarakallah, from Ramadan. I was following you very particularly during Ramadan as well, mashallah. Your early morning Facebook lives that you were doing, and you started this mastermind. We're going to be okay, something like that. I'm forgetting the words. It's going to.
We are all okay.
We are all okay. Yes, mashallah tabarakallah. It sounds very bad that I forgot the name, but I followed that. But I would love for you to tell the audience about that, because I think you're that's very active right now, and that can be a starting point for anybody who has not come across your work.
In fact, the We Are All Okay is really the starting point to joining back to the Fitra. So now it's a monthly masterclass, and each month there's a particular theme. This month, and the masterclass is next week, is how to be happy despite anything or everything, even coronavirus, lockdowns, schooling from home, whatever it is that's going on. It's how to be happy despite all of it. So that's this month's theme. I can't remember what we're doing next month or the month after. That's all on a piece of paper, so I don't have to remember that. So the idea is you join and then you actually get to know each month what we're doing. So yeah, there's a We Are All Okay Facebook group where they can get updates and things as well. But the whole idea of starting with We Are All Okay is because people are walking around thinking they're not. And the reality is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sorry about the noise. There's a workshop happening here and they're all arriving right now, so they're going to be loud.
There's no lockdown anymore? People are coming and going?
We haven't been locked down since April.
Really? You're in Australia?
No, it's not all of Australia, but in South Australia, where I am, my state, we've had a total of 450 something cases the entire year. That's it.
Oh, wow. Sure.
Because we've had such strict rules that we've all obeyed by the rules. It hasn't spread. So we haven't been locked down since around April. Wow. Anyway, back to the topic of We Are All Okay. Is people are believing they're not okay. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, He will never burden a soul beyond it can bear. So if you look deep into that verse is saying to us, doesn't matter what is happening, we're always okay. Because He's never going to give us more than we can bear. So if we really truly believe the Quran and believe that verse, then we will start believing we're okay despite everything. And so that's where the We Are All Okay came from. Because I want us to get back to looking at it from we're already okay. It's just sometimes we can't see it. Whereas what tends to happen and what tends to happen with the mental health industry out there is it's like, oh, you've got this problem or you've been diagnosed with this condition or that. Whatever all the terminology is, I try to keep my head out of it because I see it as much simpler than that. And that when it becomes about a problem, then we get focused on I've got a problem or I am a problem and it's defeated already. There's no hope left. It's like, oh, well, this is the way it is, you know, and the whole feeling of it is,
yes.
But We Are All Okay comes with a feeling of, okay, that's awesome. There's hope. Yeah. I might not be feeling it right now, but I will soon. Yes, and that's kind of the message that we want to get across, because our Deen just tells us this over and over again, that, you know, in the remembrance of Allah, the hearts find rest. So we already know where the clues are. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is never going to burn us with more than we can bear. After difficulty comes ease. We've got everything we need in the Quran. And our Deen always, you know, says to us, you know, Allah is sufficient for us. We don't need anything else. Whatever else is going on, we're going to be fine.
Yep.
And so that's really the whole message behind Back to the Fitra. And the reason it's called Back to the Fitra is because when we're in our Fitra state, we can see that. And so it's about stripping back to that Fitra state, stripping away the layers of misconceptions and delusions and everything else that's going on that's getting in the way of us being in that Fitra state and really seeing that we're okay.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Brave Muslim Parent says, yes, we are not hopeless. Hausa Dictionary says, such is the state of a believer. Beautiful concept, mashallah. Nazia says, we should all move there where you are.
Yeah, well, then you can come climbing Mount Lofty with me, because I'm sure anybody who's been following me knows I've been climbing Mount Lofty.
Yes, you have been. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Alhamdulillah. Sister Catherine, one of the okay, so anybody who will be looking at your website, you know, the first paragraph, it says, you say that I started my journey at this point, right? And in today's culture where we are all becoming like, I'm a follower of what you're doing, right? I followed you for some time. I found my path that, okay, this is something that I can do. I'm starting on my own business, entrepreneurship and all of that. The thing is, when you say that we have to, you know, come back to our fitra, everybody is going to have a lot of commotion doing that. Is there a way to speed that up? Or is it like everybody is going to take their own time?
Okay, so number one, speed it up, join Back to the Fitra Mentoring Academy and we'll help you with that.
Yes.
That's the first thing. Everybody, it's going to happen in their own time, and it's going to be according to Allah's plan, not our plan, just like everything in life. And the interesting thing is what we teach helps you actually come to a state of acceptance of that. And the more that you accept it, the faster it becomes. So it's counterintuitive. We think the more we intellectually think on it and put into it, that's going to make it faster. It's not the case at all. The more we accept that we're in this according to Allah's plan, not our plan, the more, the faster it becomes. But it is, I do think that what does speed it up is being a part of our coaching programs. They're set up to mentor and coach people as, you know, the best way possible. So I've been doing it for quite a number of years now, as you know, because you've been following me for a while. So that we have different ways in which we mentor people. Some people only need like gentle mentoring, and so they'll be satisfied in the inner circle. Others, you know, may have come from the sorts of things I came from, which was domestic violence, child sexual abuse, all those sorts of things, may need a little bit deeper kind of coaching. And so that we have group coaching for that, which is in small groups. And I know a lot of people go, oh, but I think it's better one-on-one. Actually, it's better in the group. You have no idea how many times the people in my group go, I didn't even know that was my problem, but when this other person's problem was being unpacked, they're going, that's what it is. And so they're getting just as much out of listening to others being coached than being coached themselves. In fact, perhaps even more. And I'll tell you why. Because when we're being coached directly, there is a part of us that's resisting. There's a part of us, which is our ego, going, I'm not sure about this, you know, and
absolutely.
And that creates a bit of a barrier, so that we're not 100% necessarily in that coaching experience. But when you're a spectator of someone else being coached, that ego is at rest because it doesn't realize that it's being coached as well. It sort of thinks, oh, that's all right, we'll just sit back and listen. And subhanAllah, I think sometimes we get the best insights when it's somebody else being coached. So my favorite thing is the group coaching. My favorite thing is week after week after week, seeing somebody there struggling, and then one week they show up and you look on their face and you go, wow, you look 10 years younger, and like this massive light's just been switched on. And it's like, okay, tell me what happened. Tell me about the insight. What penny dropped? And that's just the best thing, is to see the lights come on.
That's true. That's true. I'm distracted, and I wanted to ask what workshop is going on right now at the moment.
Oh, okay. So the ambulance department have rented out our training area, and so there's some training for SA ambulance. So
okay.
What they're learning, I don't know.
Wow.
So we have. So I did a Facebook Live yesterday and gave everyone a guided tour, because I have my office here. And there's another 2 offices. And then we have this beautiful training area, absolutely gorgeous training area. But other people rent it out as well.
Right, Michelle Barker. Sister Catherine, you also certify people to become coaches, if I'm right? Can you a little bit tell about that program, please?
Yeah. So if you want your life to completely change and then be a part of changing everyone else's lives, that is the program to be part of. Because when you're in the certification program, you're a part of everything. So you get the group coaching, you get to be part of the inner circle as well. But on top of that, I work with you to get a really deep understanding, because you cannot coach what we do unless you get it yourself, because you won't be able to see in others until you see it in yourself first. So the first part of the certification process is the deep dive themselves into understanding their own human experience. Then we go to the next step, which is about how to teach it, so how to articulate it. And it's very experiential. I get them to practice and do things, and so it's not about just listening to me. It's about doing stuff together and becoming a beautiful community as well. So obviously when we're teaching, we're learning deeper as well. So it makes obvious sense to go to teaching next, because that just helps us internalize even more what we've been learning. Then the next step is how to mentor and coach. So this is really teaching them how to listen beyond the words. So we're not talking active listening like it's taught out there. We're talking something that's even deeper again, which is listening beyond the words. It's not listening to the words. It's listening beyond the words. What is going on beyond those words?
Right.
Because that's where we coach people, is beyond their words.
Okay.
Because if you get caught up in their words, you're caught up in their story. You can't help them. You need to see what's going beyond those words. And so that's the next part. And then finally, it's bringing it all together and teaching them how to present a teaching lesson, and talking to them about, well, how do they want to use this? So it's about setting them up for getting out there and using it, because the whole purpose of certifying people is not because I want a massive academy with certified people, but because I want us out there doing this work. I think this is needed across our entire ummah. And I can't teach the ummah alone. So the more people I can teach to do it, the more people we can impact. And so the last part is really about trying to get them to the point where they're confident to leave and go out there and do something with it. So for some, that means within their work environment. So they don't go out there and create businesses or become entrepreneurs. They become what we would call an intrapreneur. They actually start innovating change within the space that they're in. Excuse me. I had a cold last week, and if I talk too much, it just kicks up the cough.
Oh.
I'm well. It's just a tickle throat cough.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Got to explain these things these days with this whole COVID thing. Everybody's worried about what the cough is. It's just a tickle throat cough.
No, it's just a cough. Alhamdulillah. So, Sister Coach, so you don't do it alone. You have a team with you, right?
Yeah. So I have a team in the business in terms of administration and customer support and that sort of thing. But I also have 10 certified mentors and coaches from the 2019 group. We've got 14 coming through this year, and I'm just opening up now, ready for next year, because we'll be starting at the beginning of next year for next year's group. And the idea is that we have people certified in all countries across the globe, in all languages across the globe. That way, they can teach it in their language, because that will obviously make more sense to the people who speak their language. There's a whole bunch of people out there that need this that don't speak English, so we need the languages. And secondly, they can charge their currency, because there's a whole lot of people out there can't afford, you know, my rates, and I can't afford to teach them at the amount they can afford, because the cost of living here, of course, is really high. So there's that balance. So I'm looking, you know, to have coaches from all parts of the globe, so they can do the work in their country, in their language, in their currency. Because one of my values is that everybody deserves to have emotional and spiritual resilience, not just those who can afford it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Today I was in one of the online classes about coaches, and I'm forgetting the name, Ibn something, and he was saying this. He was saying that coaching, although it has been there for the past 20 years, but right now the coaching in itself, and the business perspective, because you're a business coach as well. So now I'm coming towards the business side of what you're doing, and I believe you're also participating in one of the upcoming things.
Hijabi Boss conference.
Yes. You're doing that.
Something about breaking the glass ceiling.
Breaking the glass ceiling, yes.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, I signed up for that as well. But I wanted to hear from that perspective as well. Is it true that the coaching business is something that is needed and that is going to help? Because, and why am I asking you? Actually, you've already answered that. You said that you want people to be enabled in their countries through their languages to spread that khair. So there's one, and I think I love the idea of Muslim men and women being coaches, because we have the dual of both. We have the spiritual understanding, and then we have the scientific understanding, and then we have this khair of earning our own rizq tayyib, right? So could you just, from a business coach perspective, could you just tell us how your experience has been, and what is the message that you would like to give people who want to be coaches, and what are the reasons to become a coach? Why do you think it's a good thing, and what are the criteria that they should check?
Sure.
Yeah.
So first of all, I think we should blow the myth out of the water that you're going to get rich quick.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. I started my first online parenting class in 2014.
Right.
I started my first online class, paid class I taught, is in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a long journey getting here, and I have probably spent in the realm of $100,000 in coaches, in trainings and everything to get myself to the point where I understand how to do internet marketing, copywriting, all of these things. I mean, I've done workshops on how to deliver speeches. I've done workshops on how to deliver webinars. I've done, you know, just about everything that you can possibly imagine.
Yes, you have.
So one of the reasons for setting the academy up the way I have is so that people who want to be coaches don't have to learn all of that stuff. They can be coaches within the academy, and then that way they can rely on all of my experience in marketing and just do the work that they love of coaching. Because what was, I guess, a real bugbear for me for many years was I spent more time in sales and marketing than actually doing the coaching and the work that I loved to set out.
Yes,
I loved to do
that
in the
too.
first place.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think people need to be mindful when someone's selling them a coaching program, to give them a certification as a coach, that that's not going to be all that they need. First of all, many of the coaching programs and the certification programs, and I have done some of them, aren't even worth the paper that they're written on, because at the end of it, you have no idea how to be a coach, but you're certified as a coach, right? And so do always find something that has got meat and substance to it, which is why my certification program goes for a year, because there is substance to it. I'm not going to just spend 3 weeks with you and go, here, have a certificate. I want you to go out there confident and whatever you need to go forward. Now, I don't necessarily give you at the end of that the whole business plan or anything like that, but I don't do much business coaching anymore, but I do business coaching for my certified coaches because I want them to succeed. So I have ways in supporting them, and I'm always share with them I've got so many things recorded of trainings of how to do this and how to do that they can have access to. That's always just one of those bonuses they get for being in the program. But what would my advice be was, make sure that what you do has substance if you're going out to get certified. I really don't believe in the fake it until you make it model. I believe that people deserve to have someone coach them that really has the ability to coach them. So you sort of go, well, how do I get that experience then? Well, there's lots of ways. I wasn't born a coach, but what I started doing was teaching programs, and then I started doing Q&A, and then I started doing support groups, and it kind of led to coaching. By the time I got to coaching, I had I developed so many skills that coaching was just inevitable. But yeah, I really don't think that it's doing the coaching industry any good. The people that are out there that are being encouraged to fake it till they make it. When I have people in my program that perhaps aren't ready to be coaches, I'll suggest them running support groups, because support groups is a great place to start. Support groups don't require you to work individually with people, but just to facilitate the space and open the space and make the space. And that's part of coaching, isn't it, is being able to do that. So it's like, don't have any delusion about the fact that, okay, I've got my certification, next year I'm going to be self-sufficient financially.
Yeah, self-sufficient as well.
Because people don't realize the expenses that are behind the scenes here. I actually this calendar year have done really well financially in terms of what's come in, but I've had so many expenses because I've got team members I'm paying for and everything like that, that the actual net profit isn't that much at all.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of it as it grows. You get so many customers, that's great, but then you need a support team to support them, because if you're supporting them yourself, then there's no time for coaching, there's no time for sales or marketing. And so what you end up with is what I call the cash drip. The cash drip is where you do all the marketing, all the sales, and you enroll them. Now you're teaching them, and then you get to the end of teaching them or coaching them or whatever you're doing with them, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I've got to go back to the beginning and start the marketing and the sales again. And so there's this one patch when you're doing the sales that you've got income coming in, but then all the rest of the cycle you haven't got income coming in. So it's like a cash drip instead of a cash flow.
Well, yeah.
So you actually need to have a team then to have cash flow.
Right.
So it's a lot more than, you know, there's a lot of things people need to think carefully about before they launch into it. Apparently, I think the statistics are only 20% of people who start out actually end up succeeding. So that means 80% fail.
Yeah. Because see, either they're there because they think they're empaths and they can do good coaching and they've learned something from life and, you know, all of that, or they're good at marketing. Okay, so Sarah, she says, how do we join? I'm new here and this is Allah sent, and thank you, sister. So she wants to join your coaching program. She's asking about that.
The certification program?
Yes.
So if you go to backtothefitra.com and then /certification, there's a page there down the bottom. There's a place where you can register interest. You can't sign up at the moment because I haven't started signing people up for next year yet. Just register interest, and any names and numbers and everything's on there. As soon as I'm ready, which will be soon, inshallah, I'll be contacting everybody and just saying, okay, this is what we're doing. Is this what you want? There's no sales pressure from me. I usually send everyone away to do pre-istikhara first. So I'm not the kind of hand over your credit card details type person at all, because it never works out. If you force somebody, you know, to hand over their credit card details and it's not right for them, it's not going to work, and it's not going to be good for me or them. Right. So I trust in Allah that if anybody is meant to sign up, they will. So they don't need to fear that conversation with me, because it'll be a case of, this is what it is, this is what it can do for you. If that's what's good for you and you want to join, praise Istikhara, and here's the link to join if you're ready.
Alhamdulillah. Inshallah. A brave Muslim parent says, yes, you have to have the right reasons. You have to be in it for the right reasons. Alhamdulillah.
Yes. The right reasons are for the sake of Allah, really.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only right reason.
Yeah, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's absolutely true. I did not know how this conversation is going, which direction, because I was like, she has like all of this information about everything there. Alhamdulillah, just one click and you can be in every section: parenting, parent coaching, and in teens and in children and spaces. There's another thing. Catherine Jones was talking about healing our problems, etc. Is that, so Sarah, if you are asking to become a coach, that's what I understood, and that's what Sister Catherine just talked about. But if you're asking to be coached, like to hire her as your coach, that is also on this. Is that on the same page as well? CatherineJones.com, right?
Sure. Probably the easiest way is join my masterclass for next week, which they just have to go to weareallok.com. Let me see if I can type it in the it's autocorrect's going to want to try. Hang on. I've got to clip over some of the letters. OK.com. There we go. It's not a proper link, I don't think, so they'll have to just take it. But
yeah, she'll get an idea. I will also I will connect with your Instagram, and then it will take them to the website.
So I use the letter R instead. So we are letter R allok.com. That masterclass will be next week, and in the masterclass I will share at the end how to join the inner circle. That's usually the place people start, the inner circle. So the way it works is there's an educational element to what we teach. Like, we need to help you understand your human experience. So we do that through the Peaceful Hearts program. And so the Peaceful Hearts just unpack step by step how our human experience works. And alongside that, because we came to realize that just being educated isn't the answer, you need to have that opportunity to be mentored to transformation. So what we have each week, and so it's actually quite a lot, but we believe in making sure that there's every opportunity for people to get this. We have 2 Q&A sessions every week. We have a masterclass every week. It's a special masterclass going deeper into the understanding. The masterclass, Daniela runs, that's my customer support person. She runs the masterclass as a watch party as well, so that those who can't attend live can have a sort of another live event with it. We also do interviews within the inner circle with people who
love
have
that part. Yeah.
So but these interviews in the inner circle are ones that are going deeper into the understanding. They're different to the interviews you see outside. So there's a lot going on in there to make sure that they have a lot of time in with us, either with me or with Daniela, so that they've got time to ask their questions, get it unpacked. So for instance, yesterday we had my Q&A session, and what was the theme? The theme was, I've forgotten now. So each session is interesting. There'll be a theme. So for instance, I know lately one of the themes coming up a lot is expectations. When you go into expectations of yourself and expectations of others, and the impact of that. So we'll get deeper and deeper into it. So the difference between being on the outside and just learning the stuff that we're sharing on the outside and what happens on the inside is the depth that we go and the transformation that happens. And so the inner circle is, I guess, the best place to start, because there's just so much support in there. But for those who want more, then they can upgrade to the mastermind, which is where they get into a small group coaching, and there's a lot more of me listening to them than them listening to me then.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Jazakallahu khair. Thank you so much. So how is the rest of your day going to go? Are you busy today?
Yes, so my office is a bit chaotic because yesterday, so sun was kicking in here, and the sun was coming in to my office, and I was finding it reflecting off my computer too much. And so I started rearranging my room, and then when I started rearranging my office, I thought, you know what, I could do with a cupboard to put all this stuff in. So I went and got one of those do-it-yourself cupboards. So I'm halfway through, I've built the cupboards, but I haven't put the backs on because I need to hammer. And I'm not going to be able to do it today either, because there's a workshop here, because I just don't want to do hammering and banging while there's workshops and things on. So my day will be a bit of working in this mess, because everything's sort of out in my office here. I've just found a corner where you wouldn't see mess.
Alhamdulillah.
It's not too bad. But yeah, I've got a lot of work to do, always a lot of work to do. But when you love your work, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Jazakallahu khair so much, Sister Catherine. Thank you so much for joining us live. And alhamdulillah for all the wisdom that you've shared with us, inshallah. I hope whoever watches it now or later on, inshallah, it will be helpful for them.
Yes.
And sure, go ahead, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to say Jazakallah khair for having me, and definitely really anybody who's interested in joining the masterclass, anyone who's interested in joining the certification, please reach out. The more the merrier, because it's a world project. There's enough people. It's a world project, and there's a lot more people than I can possibly look after myself. So I just want to grow a space where we can do it together. I really think the power is working together, not individually.
Definitely. Brave Muslim Parents says Jazakallahu khair, and everybody saying, setting their hearts and